You were never meant to be a decorative light. You were meant to be a forest fire. This is the art of the unapologetic shadow, the stoic feminine, where boundaries become battlements, where stillness becomes strategy. Let's begin. Have they ever asked for your brilliance, but only when it didn't disturb the quiet? Only when your radiance didn't ask for reciprocity? Only when it was easy to consume? Beautiful, but harmless? You were praised for being small, polished, digestible. Even when your soul throbbed for wild skies and untamed roads, you were not crafted to hang like a chandelier, fragile, glimmering, waiting to be noticed. You were born of wildness. You are not a fixture. You are the breath of the forest at midnight, unseen yet undeniable, unapologetic, alive. There is a fear around the word shadow, as if darkness means absence, but you see galaxies in the void. You see constellations where others see black. They tremble in the unknown. You kneel only to the drumbeat beneath your ribs, not to fear, not to approval, only to truth. Jung gave it language. Anima, the pulse that won't shrink. Persona, the costume you wore to stay safe. But survival is not living. And breathing through someone else's lungs is not a life. Your silence? Don't mistake it for surrender. It's not defeat. It's potential. It's the bow pulled tight before release. The hush before the thunder. The inhale before the truth. How long have you been waiting to release it? There's a rhythm in you older than language. It doesn't speak in apology. It speaks in flame, in river, in bone. You are not a puzzle to solve. You are a revelation, still unfolding. There is an ache that comes from shrinking, the ache of something vast forced into something polite. You've felt it when you nod instead of speak, when you smile instead of blaze. And every time, a little more of your wildfire goes quiet. But here's the secret. Silence doesn't make you smaller. It concentrates you. They don't fear your noise. They fear your silence. The kind that doesn't seek validation. The kind that says, I've returned to myself. When a woman stops asking for permission, she becomes a force. Not loud, not angry, just undeniable. Let that settle. You are not waiting to become. You are remembering that you always were. And remembering is not a straight line. It is a spiral, a tide, a slow return to your own center. So breathe. Let the persona peel away. Let the anima speak again. Impulse. In knowing. Let her whisper what you buried. Let her shout what you were never allowed to say. You are not too much. You are too real for a world addicted to masks. And if they find your light blinding, that is not your burden to dim. That is their invitation to evolve. Have you ever felt yourself shrinking just to be accepted? Comment below. I'm not here to be palatable. I'm here to be whole. And we'll remember together. The world still rewards the woman who stays quiet, the one who's easy to carry, easy to predict, easy to explain. But when did being whole become an act of rebellion? They praise the pleasing. They applaud the polite. They call your softness grace. But only when it doesn't push back. Only when it bends without breaking. You've seen it. The reward for half-truths. The celebration of fragments. The quiet encouragement to stay. Edited. But your wholeness? That makes waves. Because wholeness refuses to hide the shadow. And here's a truth they don't teach. Light without shadow isn't illumination. It's glare. Softness without steel isn't grace. It's bait. And you? You were never meant to be prey. The empowered feminine doesn't bargain with her brokenness. She gathers it, integrates it. She builds with it, she sculpts from it. She creates altars from the pieces. She is not the drizzle that makes small talk easier. She's the storm that rewrites landscapes. Her soul, not a hidden room with locked doors and unspoken things. It is a cathedral, wide, unapologetic, echoing with truth. No attic of shame, no basement of denial. Every chamber, blessed. She is not a reduction. She is the full equation, the question, the answer, and the silence between. In Jung's language, the shadow is not a monster. It is the soil of your deepest becoming, where rage becomes clarity, where sorrow turns to direction, where root becomes bloom. The modern stoic feminine doesn't chase peace like a prize. She doesn't wait for the world to hand it over. She builds it, stone by stone, by naming her edges and letting them stay sharp. Her boundaries, not fences, not warnings, altars. She says, if you come here, come clean, come reverent, or don't come at all. She is moonlight over war grounds, still, steady, not asking for reverence, commanding it. And here's where the archetype enters. She is Artemis, goddess of the untamed, bow in hand, eyes wild, spirit untouched by expectation, not tamed, not caged, not claimed. The palace was never her place. The forest was. The silence, the instinct. And that instinct, it's in you. Even if they taught you to fear it, even if you've forgotten its voice. She is also Persephone, not a prisoner, but a queen. Dragged down once, yes, but she stayed by choice. She ruled by truth, because ruling in the dark means you've met your shadow and survived it. These aren't just myths, they're blueprints, echoes of the woman you are remembering. And she, this mythic self, she doesn't ask, am I lovable? She asks, who can witness me without looking away? Who can hold space where fire and gentleness meet? Because she is both, soft and serrated, a lullaby and a war drum. She's not here to be understood. She's here to be remembered. Not by everyone, but by you. Which archetype do you feel more in this season of your life? Artemis or Persephone? Comment for Artemis, for Persephone, or both, if you're walking with your full self. There's a kind of ache that comes with containment. The ache of something vast, folded, small. You felt it. That nod you gave when your truth was rising, that smile you faked when you were breaking. Each time, a little more of your wildfire went quiet. But silence isn't surrender. It's preparation. It's the moment before the storm, the inhale before the flame. Because here's the secret. Your power doesn't leave when you go quiet. It concentrates. It deepens. It sharpens. They fear your silence more than your shouting. Because silence means you're no longer explaining, no longer seeking to be understood. And when a woman stops asking for permission, she becomes a force. Not loud, not chaotic, just undeniable. That's where your shadow stops hiding. That's where the storm begins. You are not waiting to become. You are remembering that you always were. And remembering isn't linear. It's a spiral, a pulse, a rhythm older than culture. It doesn't speak in apology. It speaks in fire and breath and bone. You are not a riddle. You are a revelation in progress. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You are vast. Vast things don't shrink to fit. They expand. There's a rhythm in you you were never taught, only remembered. It's the way your voice shakes right before it finds its strength. The way your no lands quietly in the middle of a room and changes everything. The modern stoic feminine doesn't beg. She doesn't chase. She chooses. She claims. She calibrates. Her peace isn't fragile. It's forged. Her silence isn't fear. It's restraint. And her boundaries, they aren't walls. They're sacred thresholds. She says, if you come here, come clean. Come whole. Or don't come at all. You are not the drizzle that comforts. You're the storm that reshapes. Not out of destruction, but direction. You are not here to soothe their discomfort. You are here to embody your truth. You are not a wound. You are a weapon for what is real. And yes, your softness is sacred, but so is your edge. You don't have to choose. You never did. You are both. This is what it means to reclaim the storm, not to unleash chaos, but to stop pretending you're a breeze when you've always been the thunder. So say it, out loud, in your own way. I don't have to be small to be accepted. I don't have to dim so they can shine. I can rise, fully, without apology. And if they flinch, that's not my burden. That's their invitation to evolve. Drop a lightning bolt in the comments if you've ever dimmed yourself just to keep the peace. This space is for your return, your rhythm, your remembering. There's a lie you were taught, that softness and sharpness can't coexist, that to be nurturing you must be quiet, that to be kind you must be compliant. But the feminine isn't soft instead of strong. She is soft because she's strong. She is not petals without thorns. She is roots and wind and wildfire. Your edges aren't the parts of you to hide. They are the parts that hold your shape. They are the places where you end and someone else begins. Your no. It's not rejection. It's protection. It's direction. It's the sound of your soul saying, this is who I am. There is no shame in being clear. Your boundaries are not barriers. They are invitations to treat you with reverence. You are not here to be easy. You are here to be whole. And wholeness has edges. It always has. The empowered feminine does not whisper yes when her heart says no. She doesn't shrink to make others feel safe. She doesn't abandon herself to be accepted. She builds altars with her truth. Not fences, not cages, altars. She says, if you come here, come with clean hands, come with truth, come with care, or don't come at all. Because love that demands your silence is not love. It's performance. And you? You are not here to perform. You are here to remember. Jung would say, your shadow isn't evil. It's just unspoken. And sometimes your clarity lives in the places you were told to hide. In your anger, in your refusal, in your sovereignty. They call it harsh. You know it as holy. Modern Stoicism reminds us, it's not control you seek, it's alignment. You don't need power over others. You need integrity within. Your peace is not up for negotiation. Your body is not a battleground. Your voice is not a liability. It is an offering. So speak, with your full tone, with your full self. Let your boundaries be the blueprint, not to push love away, but to invite in only what honors you. You are not hard to love. You are just hard to manipulate. What's one boundary you're reclaiming this season? Comment below. My edges are sacred, and let them sharpen you gently. You were never here to be agreeable. You were here to be true. And truth, especially feminine truth, has always been rewritten. They called her too much, too loud, too proud, too powerful. But what they couldn't name, they tried to erase. And now, you're writing her back in. You're not remembering how to behave. You're remembering how to exist. As whole, as fierce, as sacred. The persona you wore. Beautiful, useful, necessary. But you've outgrown it. You've realised the version of you that earned applause was only a fraction. The rest of you, still waiting to exhale. So here is your invitation. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You need to remember who you were before the forgetting, before they called your strength aggression, before they called your clarity coldness, before they said your knowing was arrogance, and before you believed them. You are not the ashes. You are the flame. You are not what's left behind. You are what rises. The dark feminine does not destroy for pleasure. She transforms for truth. She's not chaos. She's initiation. And you're not broken. You are brave. You are not delayed. You are ripening. And the myth, it was never just metaphor. It was memory. Your bones remember Artemis. Your skin remembers Persephone. Your voice carries Lilith's echo. Your silence holds Medusa's knowing. You are not one of them. You are all of them. Power is not performance. It's presence. And now, you don't ask to be seen. You stand where you are and let the seeing happen. The stoic feminine isn't louder. She's deeper. She doesn't need certainty. She chooses sovereignty. And her final truth? If you must leave, leave. But I will not abandon myself just to keep you comfortable. This is not defiance. This is devotion to yourself, to the full mythic self. So when they ask, why are you different now? Smile and say, I'm not different. I'm just no longer pretending. You don't have to be understood to be worthy. You don't have to be palatable to be powerful. You don't have to be safe to be sacred. If this episode brought you home to any part of yourself, comment below. I remember who I am. And if you're ready to continue walking this path, subscribe. Because next, we rise with Lilith.